Oh, look at that. My Java counter is still up. Good morning, guys. And everybody checking in before bed because you motherfuckers don't know when to sleep correctly. That's cool. Logan, good morning. Wampa. Um, so it is, let's see, what time is it? It's about 9 o'clock. I actually have some stuff that needs to get done today. I've been teaching martial arts classes at a camp for students with special needs a little bit towards midday. So I want to get this stuff out and try to do as much as we can in as little time as possible. The good news is my guild is pretty good at day one of TB now. So it's very likely that when I pop in here that there's not going to be much for me to do. But let's see how this is looking. Oh, we're at like 5 minutes. Okay, light speed. We don't have to do light side. Light side is completely done. So we're just going to pop right into this because if nothing else, I would love to be able to maybe get a roster review in or two. Alon, Limestone, good morning, guys. It is the summer, so as far as I'm concerned, this is the summer of Egnards, and we're going to be doing a lot of this stuff throughout the weeks, and today is a tough day because I still have to do my Conquest. Right, I've said this before, during the school year I tend to do my Conquest like 5:45 in the morning. I do the entire day's worth then, but I resisted the urge this morning. It is actually a little bit intimidating because I don't normally do my progression Conquest on stream. So that's going to be new, and we'll see if I drop battles or whatever else happens. Let's see. All right, and Warlock, good morning. Tim, good morning. Warlock, we're going to try to get a few reviews in. I think you're up first today, but I can't guarantee it today just because I am in a little bit more of a time crunch than I normally would be in. But I think we'll have time. All right, just to leverage expectations, just slightly. Let's see, and you guys know, for those of you that have watched me run TBs before, I don't personally think it's very exciting. I do everything on auto for the most part, especially in day one. I have perfected the day completely on auto before, though there are a few combats that can sometimes get a little bit tricky. We'll see what happens. And obviously I can't do any of the light side ones because those were completed already. How long did it take you? Normally it takes me like 45 minutes or so to do a full sector. Those 5 planet days are the worst. Those ones take a little bit longer. I really hate when Zepho and Mandalore are both unlocked on day 4. It's one of my least favorite things. What I actually need to do is I need to start putting together sets for this to make my life easier. And I guess, well, Ben's not going to help me here, so let's do Finn. I know that some people get thrown off by this. Afro goes really, really well with all of the rays. I can throw other things in there. This seems to work nicely too. I'm going to get to try some things that I don't normally get to try, since I normally have to save my light side teams for those light side battles, and I don't have to do that today. And your mods are going to thank you for it, man. Jabba is king right now, and I don't think, Leia did not dethrone him. I don't think that Ahsoka is going to dethrone him either, and I think a big reason for that is going to be, that she's going to be expensive. Interesting. All right, who cares, right? Like, if you if one is 2-star, I feel like one of the things is that by the time you get to Sector 5, there are going to probably be general feats that you're going to need to make up. So, so like if you have to go back and do a few things, you have to go back and win a few battles again, it's really not that big of a deal. I try not to worry about it. I actually dropped 2 battles yesterday, which kind of pissed me off, but I was in a rush. Mondays for me are rough. I had 9 classes to teach yesterday, between 2 at this camp, 3 at a preschool, 4 at my actual dojo. And then I had to do my Conquest. I had to do my Conquest. I had to finish my GAC. I had Meathead messaging me looking for raid feedback. So I had a very busy day, and I just blew through as much of Conquest as I could. I appreciate that. You know, it was weird. Last week was really strange. I think there was a lot of great news, and we talked about this on Sunday too. There was a lot of great news in that day, but it wasn't in the road ahead, and it was kind of crazy that they didn't do that, and they did it in such a disjointed way. So I'm glad that I was able to, you know, get people on board with it and to see it and say, hey, this is actually a lot of cool stuff. And there was even a few things I didn't add to that road ahead that I wasn't so sure about, or actually came out after I had made the post, so there was even more information than I had sent. You know, Alon, I sent him, I screenshotted it to some of my guild officers and people that I can, like, that I know really well, and it ended up being like 6 screenshots worth of information that I sent him, so there was this huge wall of text. But it was really just echoing a lot of the sentiment of the community, which is essentially that it's very time consuming, and the fact that there are a couple bugs that are making it a lot harder to progress through, and that a lot of the guilds in the midterm are feeling like that G12, that R0 or level 0, level 1 seem to be overtuned, and there's people really struggling that we're getting a reasonable crate with Endor, and now I have even seen some people who have gotten literally a 0 crate on this raid, and that sucks. So I sent them a ton of information, and in typical Meathead fashion, they just got like a thank you back. But you know, it's kind of cool that he reached out to me, and it wasn't, you know, the other way around. So that was awesome. Let's get these huts in there where I can't read. And for those of you that do not know, Jabba can pretty much solo this. You could throw him with the absolute worst hut cartel that there are. Pilkas, I don't know what you're talking about, man. With Jabba, he does a ton. You're getting bullied in your guild, aren't you? That's why. I get it now. Guild bullying. Well, that was something I actually said to him. So I was talking to Fat Phil yesterday, and basically what I was talking to him about, because it was his first time doing the raid, was that if we look at this in a vacuum, everything we do in this game is a waste of time, right? It's really just entertainment, and I know entertainment is important, but if we really look at it, it's just something we're doing for fun. It's a waste of our time, no matter what, and that's just at its very base level. And basically the job of a game is to not make us feel like we're wasting time. And so what I had said is, when it comes to the insane amount of turns the enemy's taking and the insane amount of healing that they're doing, it feels like it's a lot longer than it actually is. And as players, we're being taken out of the environment, and we get really excited when somebody gets down to red health, and then the next turn, you know, 5B1s go, and those 5B1s end up healing up the enemy to God knows whatever they get healed up to full, and then it artificially increases the length of time and frustrates players. So I said it in a little bit more of an eloquent way, but I did mention that. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean anything's being changed, obviously. I'm sure he's reaching out to dozens of players in my position, players who, you know, have shown feedback that is maybe not just negative and trying to just get an idea of what's going on. All right. And since I can't do light side and I do want to use my Gungans, we're just going to throw the Gungans in here. And, well, I think they've beaten this battle before. Now that Boomadir has his Omicron, the only thing I'm missing on this team to completely max them is the Phalanx Omicron, but I refuse to do that. I'm not doing it. I'm not one of those people. Let's see, while this is running, I'm just going to check on .gg, see how many people now, 3 months later, have that Omicron. Yeah, I think that, you know, Alon, I think that is the problem when it comes to taking feedback, is that is exactly what happens, is people just say like, oh, hey, you know, this bad, this good, and that can be really frustrating when you are looking for like real nuanced feedback that understands like, hey, this is a business and they want to make money, they need to make money. And it's hard to filter out what good feedback is. So I'm sure it's more targeted who they reach out to. Looking at the Phalanx Omicron right now, there are 1,180 of them. So not that much. Not that much at all. Boomadir is actually up there. Yeah, I auto everything with the Gungans and the TB Omicron. I actually auto in day 5 in Ring of Kafrene, which is an R9 planet. They auto there. I have noticed a few losses. So I think out of the 4 or 5 times I've done Ring of Kafrene, they've lost 1 time. It is very rare that it happens, though. Actually, believe it or not, I do have access to the PC client. And again, Meat had reached out to me pretty early. He got my information. He put me in a priority to get the PC client, but he didn't tell me that he put me in that priority. I actually had to ask him why he asked for my information. And he told me a month later. I have used the PC client, but when I stream, I'm using my Mac, my laptop that I use for work. My PC is really old. It is over a decade old. It used to be a mid-grade gaming PC. Right now, it's not in the greatest of shape. I can get into the game. I can play the game, but it's just a pain in my ass to like boot up the game, boot up my computer, boot up the game, get my rewards, and log out. And I don't think that the computer will be able to stream in the way that I stream right now. The power supply is chugging along, the heat sink is chugging along, the RAM is really low. I would love to upgrade my PC. I'd love to get something like in the mid-grade, $900 to $1,200 range, but I don't game enough on my PC anymore. I don't have the time to do it where I can justify that expense. So if we have any sugar daddies out there, let me know. I don't think I saved my team for this, and I honestly don't even remember what I used. I believe it is this, but it only wins about 60% of the time. I have maxed all of the there was one Gungan one I didn't max just because the non-Gungan feat was stupid. I did obviously beat it with Gungans. I beat it with Gungans with every one of them with no problem at all. But I think it was either the last Gungan one or the one before that just had a really stupid request of it, and I just didn't care to figure it out. As long as I get my 2 Omicrons, I am happy. It was the one that everybody else was pissed off about because they couldn't get the Gungan one and they couldn't get this other one. It might have been the 30 stuns. I honestly don't remember. But I got my 2 Omicrons. I walked away. My time is way more valuable to me than trying to get a couple extra chirotech. Like what is it, 5 to 8 different. I wasn't going to deal with it. But they have made those challenges pretty easy. This last one wasn't too bad. It looked kind of bad in the beginning. It looked a little bit tough. But once you got, them rolling, and once the team started taking turns and TM started flying, it wasn't too much of an issue. Especially with like the max health damage just not really doing much. There we go. Let's see. Now this doesn't mean it's an auto win at this point because I still have to keep these guys alive, but it's looking pretty safe on auto right now. Especially with them not having... Oh, perfect. With that should be easy at this point. This team comp wins about 60% of the time on auto, in my experience. So it's nice, especially if you don't need it. Con, I do know about that bug. Just because I'm on Reddit constantly, and over the weekend, Meathead actually reached out to me about that bug too. And obviously they are aware of it. They were aware of it before he messaged me about it. And I spent like an hour figuring out different circumstances and playing around with it, and it just always spawns. So I'm curious if they're coded incorrectly or if the wording is incorrect. We'll probably find out next week. But they were very aware of that bug being in the game. Lord Vader, let's get this one done. Yeah, I figured it is. No, and there's so much like spaghetti code, man, with the game, but they are aware of it. I sent them a bunch of screenshots, and it is every situation. The only situation that it doesn't spawn is if like Arc Trooper or somebody that spawns an ad is spawning, because unique supply before leaderships, and the shield generator is in the leadership, so all of those other things will always spawn first. Yeah, every game is going to be buggy. That's the nature of online games. You're always going to have bugs. It's just making sure that there's no game-breaking ones, or there's very few game-breaking ones. I find the sound one right now to be really silly. I didn't even notice because I don't play with the game with sound on. I don't care for sound in mobile games. It's cool to listen to once, but that's pretty much it. I hate. Yeah, I hate Hell Week. I really do. Hell Week is the worst. It takes up so much time, and I've talked about it so much. I hate it. There's nothing else to say about it. Moonborn, cheers, dude. Yeah, for the summer, I moved my computer setup to my basement, because if I want to do this stuff during the day, during my time, my wife, she works from home and she has the office, so I'd only be able to stream from like 6 in the morning to 8 in the morning. My basement is unfinished. We do get water in the basement. We do get mold. We had to have mold remediation. I've actually shown this. So like 2 feet of my drywall is out, right, on my flooring. But I have a fold-up table that I've put down here, and everything's on the fold-up table, and I make sure to unplug everything every night and put it on the table. We don't take on a ton of water, but I obviously don't want anything getting destroyed. So for the summer, I've moved everything down here. I did not change my camera though. Is there something different about my camera? This is just my Mac camera. All right, let's see. Geonosins, I don't want to use SOKR because SOKR sucks there. It doesn't suck there, but let's do Night Sisters. Do I want to do Night Sisters? Let's do. I actually don't know if I've tried Night Sisters on this battle, so let's try them. Yeah, dude, this is my Mega Man wall. This is my nerd wall in the back. It's constantly being built on. There's my custom Mega Man poster that was made for me. Actually, everything back there is custom except for that Cyanide and Happiness frame in the back. I don't know if anyone ever read Cyanide and Happiness, but it's the Jabba the Hutt one from years and years and years ago. And then my favorite right there is the Nicole Kidman speech from AMC. We come to this place for magic. We come to AMC theaters to laugh, to cry, to care, because we need that indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim and we go somewhere we've never been before together. Dazzling images on a huge silver screen. Somehow heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Stories feel perfect and powerful. Our heroes feel like the best part of us because here they are. Something like that. I think I reversed a couple of lines, but that's pretty good. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. It might be. I don't. No, I haven't changed anything. So I'm not 100% sure on that with the camera. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. Huge. It is less pixely. Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just the lighting. I have better lighting in this room. That might be it. Because I have an overhead lamp here. Yeah, huge Mega Man fan. I actually have some custom pieces upstairs. I don't know. There's this custom toy creator, Cody Koala. He used to be really big. Kotaku used to feature his stuff all the time. I have 2 custom pieces from his. One of them was featured on Kotaku. It's a battle damaged Mega Man. Just like completely ripped apart. And then the other one is a battle damaged Proto Man. I bought those years and years. I had both of them commissioned. One was commissioned by a friend as a gift. The other one was commissioned by me as a go together. Remind me on Discord later if you want to see. I'll post a picture of like my desk that has all my Mega Man stuff up there. Super big fan. Super big fan. Astro Boy's good, but Mega Man, 1987. I was born in 1987. I grew up on Mega Man. I don't even know how to explain. My love for Mega Man is just so strong. It's the first video game that I remember playing. I remember playing Mega Man on my mom's like 9-inch TV on this big like dresser and like looking up at it, and I was like 3 years old, and that just has always stuck with me. I'm gonna try something different here that I haven't tried yet. Let's do this with a pop-up help lead. Again, I have never done this before this way. I've always done it the other way, but I don't need the points. We're gonna try it out. My 2 favorite Mega Mans. Mega Man 2 is the first game that I vividly remember playing, so Mega Man 2 has a special place in my heart. And Mega Man X. A few months ago, we played through Mega Man X on stream. It took me about an hour and a half. It was a lot of fun. I know every aspect of that game. I know every secret. I know every piece of it. I can play it in my sleep. Two favorite games, hands down. Mega Man X is a perfect game in my opinion. That's just it. I don't have any other response to that. I do all the farm. What do you make? Plus Java. So Pilkus, here's the thing with the new AB. They kind of played coy with us and gave us half information, and basically said, hey, it's gonna run monthly for the time being, and that kind of scares me. But I do think that they are a priority team to get to R7 Plus because of that assault battle. If you have all of your ROI in shape, I think it is a good team to prioritize for that reason. I don't have them, finished yet. I'm still working on them. When I do finish them, I do plan on taking that 3-man team to R9. Just because, with the extra ROI, I think I'm going to make out pretty well with that. But that, is going to be a personal choice per person. Oh, man. Remind me never to use Papa Pelp lead on this battle again. It is vital. I did a whole thing on the ROI on Reddit. I did a whole breakdown of it. I did the time amounts on it, how long it would take. I did everything for it. The only issue is, yeah. Well, I'm willing to try things because I don't need the battles. The only issue is because they said it'll run for the time being, that kind of scares me. And I'm wondering if that battle will go to the wayside when this raid is over. However, because that 3-man can max score in the raid, I do think there's that additional ROI of bonus points and not wasting mats elsewhere. And I think that that's something that's important to consider for players. Especially in the mid to high game, if you're looking to bring any one squad to R9, bringing 3 characters to R9 is much better than bringing 5 characters to R9. Though I think for most guilds you're going to be looking at like the 260 box as a maximum, and if you take that 260 or so box, whatever the exact number is, it's about 5.3 million per player, and realistically that's 1 R8 team and 2 R7 teams, so you don't really have to go that high if you don't want to. That's kind of up to what you want to do. We actually, for breakfast, speaking of bread, is my wife was turned on to this thing. She loves her TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account. And it is these frozen hash browns that you air fry, and then you put a little bit of hot honey on it, and you throw a fried egg on top. And the reason we started a little later than I wanted to was because I was busy cooking that for her this morning, and it was pretty good, except we changed it up. They called for avocado. I took the avocado out, and I used some like Mumufuku chili oil, and I put it on top. 10/10, big fan, would recommend it. Super easy to do, takes about 15 minutes, but not active 15 minutes. Super easy 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm not either. She loves it. She loves avocado. I don't really care for it. I do like fresh guac that's not creamy. I like it to be chunky. I'm not a big fan of creamy textures personally. So we did not put the avocado on. Next week I might put avocado just on hers just to try it, but I'm not eating it. Yeah, I saw Gladiator 2 was coming out. The trailer or just the poster? I knew that the poster came out. I didn't know the trailer came out. I am a Pedro Pascal fan. He's very funny. Well, he does both, right? Funny and not funny. Drama, I should say. I did see the poster. I did not see the trailer. I'll have to watch the trailer later today when I get off. Or I don't know. Maybe I won't. The thing about trailers is we go to the movies every weekend. So when you go to the movies every weekend, you just don't actively watch trailers as much because I'm gonna probably see that trailer like 40 times. So maybe I'll just wait until we see it at the movies because I'm sure I'll see it again like 30 times and get bored of it. Warlock, I agree with you. I think that the words that they use for things matter, and there's certain criteria, there's certain expectations we have with different event types and what they encapsulate. The same thing with Bo-Katan. They called it an epic confrontation, but it didn't present as an epic confrontation. And that was good for us as players because it was monthly instead of every 3 to 4 months, but it changed our expectation in the beginning. Where we weren't necessarily sure if we should go for her fast or slow because we were like, oh, hey, you know what? In the past, this, and that happened. Let's not prioritize. And then boom, she showed up again. So the words that are used do matter. That's my TB. I'm not going to deploy yet. I always deploy last or don't deploy at all, depending on if we actually need it to be done. One thing that I did forget to do is grab myself a glass of water. So I am going to step out for like 60 seconds to just pour a glass of water. As with Sunday, now that we can run ads, I only run them when I walk away. So I'm gonna turn on that screen and hope and you'll get an ad. I know it'll be annoying, but there's nothing for you to watch anyway. In that point, I will be right back, and we'll do our conquest. All right, see, super quick. Got my water, I'm good to go. As for Gladiator, it's going to be something I'm going to see in the theaters. I'm definitely going. Pedro's going to kill it. Denzel, I think they said other than The Equalizer, this is the first sequel he's ever been in, which is kind of interesting. We'll see. I can't wait. Honestly, I love movies. I love going to movies, so I'm always excited when something else is on the horizon. All right, so we have my 8 o'clock refresh of the store, right? 8 o'clock refresh of the store. We're at 39 minutes. I love horror movies. I honestly I love horror movies. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness is one of my favorite movies to ever come out. Long Legs, we saw the trailer for it. Looks really, really creepy. And then there's one with what's his name? Hugh Grant. There's one with Hugh Grant that involves religion and stuff. That one actually looks kind of cool too. I don't remember the name of that movie. We will be going to see both of them. We saw a few this year. I wasn't happy with the horror movies that have come out this year so far. Night Swim at the beginning of the year is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The one with Sydney Sweeney, the priest one, which is really more of a thriller, that one was not so great. The M. Night Shyamalan one was, I don't know, it was alright. The Watchers, that was okay. I see Smile 2 is coming out. We actually did not see Smile, but I do want to see it. Moonboard coming in, dropping knowledge. I'm gonna share that with people. That will be shared, and I will take credit for it. Yeah, Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness is pretty much my favorite. It's one of my favorite movies. I am a huge Bruce Campbell fan. I love Bruce Campbell. My Name is Bruce is great. I watched Burn Notice specifically because of Bruce Campbell. Huge fan. All right. So far, I have not gotten the data discs I want. I did get some that I'm okay with. I have 2 Leaders Resolves on just because I can right now. I'm going to end up removing the lower one a little bit later on. We got gas. I need those Rebel Fighter wins. Rebel Fighter kills, rather. So we'll throw this in. Why is GMY in this squad? Because GMY has potency down. Unfortunately, because there is no Vanguard, he also dies really quick and is not working the way I want him to. Yeah, so I loved, let's see, dispel debuffs. I was a big fan of Burn Notice. It was really good. Michael Donovan did a nice job with it. But it's probably a show I would not have watched if Bruce Campbell wasn't in it. Unless I heard like later on, hey, it was a really good show. He is what got me to watch it. The show overall just ended up being great. So we watched it. Or I watched it, I should say. Ooh, that sucks. I honestly, Con, I don't know. I don't know what applies first, to be completely honest. I wish I did. I'm not 100% sure. But as I said to someone earlier, when it comes to worrying about 2-starring things, I honestly don't worry. Obviously, we want to 3-star things as much as possible. I don't lose sleep over it. Rebel Fighters. I need more Rebel Fighter wins. Battle fights, whatever. Night Sisters, Imperial Troopers. My Imperial Troopers are not great, so I need to look for specific things. I wish I had a Fortify disc. That would be really nice. Is she a Rebel Fighter? No, she's just a Rebel. So I have to make sure not to kill things with Leia then. It's good to know. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. It would be a good question for people who are much smarter than me, but I don't know. Okay. It's actually, because I'm not using Jedi Master Luke at all in this sector, You know what? I'll go back later. I don't care. It's coming up. I'm gonna try this. I don't think it's gonna work just because my troopers are not great, but we'll try. We'll see what happens. Throw you in there. We'll throw you in there. I'm sure if you go on like Reddit or the forum, somebody has probably figured it. If you go on the event server, somebody has figured it out. I'm sure. But it wasn't me. I haven't done it. Ooh, okay. Really run it on auto at this point. Ooh, man. And it's, you know, I hate putting in this much effort for like a character that I know I'm not going to level up, that is going to stay at G12 for the longest time. Ezra being signaled as the next Conquest character just kind of reinforces for me that Luthen is not as necessary right now. Let's do our JMK squad. See if we can get some more of these battles in. And again, not going for hyper efficiency this time around. We're just going for that easy type of efficiency where we can do most things on a data node. Breaking Bad. You know what? I've gotten to the end of Breaking Bad. I did not watch the last half of a season. I prefer to watch shows after they have finished, and I was watching it when it was on, and I just never got around to finishing it. It was a good show. It's a slow burn show like Mad Men. I wouldn't say it wasn't for me because I did enjoy it, but I don't know if I'm going to go back to finish it. As for Conquest, it's easy. I know that. I have maxed every Conquest except for one. There is one singular Conquest that I did not max. I got a gold crate in the first Scion of Django one. But other than that, I've maxed every one of them, and it's never been hard to do. It's just not fun. It's not interesting. It's not enjoyable. Okay, nice. So let's get you out of the equation. It is, look, it's a great show. And Silky, man, thanks for the subscribe, dude. Because I don't run mid ads, a lot of people don't feel the need to subscribe because they don't have to sit through them. But so I appreciate it. It is a very good show, but it's a different type of show. And again, I don't hold information really well when it comes to shows, so I do prefer to watch them after they've already aired. And with that one, I didn't do that, so it became a lot harder for me. Let's throw Gungans in there. The same thing with what was the other one? The prequel series, Better Call Saul. I'm like right there at the very end of Better Call Saul. Will I ever finish it? I honestly don't know. I would like to eventually, but there's just so much good content out there. I've heard X-Men 97 is awesome. I have not seen it. I watched the original growing up. I just haven't had a lot of time. I have been watching like one episode of things at night. And usually even that I'm too tired to do a lot of the times. I've been watching Resident Alien recently. Big Alan Tudyk fan. So that has been on my list. All right, we don't care which one we get. Let's see. Defeat with Sabine, win with a full squad of Galactic Republic. I wonder if I can do this. Who's the squad? That's Jedi Knight Anakin. I don't know if these guys are going to survive, but we're going to try it. Just to see if we can get the thing. We'll see what happens. Jar, good morning. We're just slogging through Conquest, man. Seeing what we can do. What sucks here is I have to kill you, which is gonna do that. Okay, that helps. That makes life a little easier. Oh, man. So I knew that this would work at 100% stamina. They did do a show on Netflix. It sucked. Everybody hated it. It was awful. The Resident Evil one. Nobody was a fan. Nobody liked it. I did not watch it. I heard it was bad. I was excited for it. That's all right, dude. I'm the same way with my coffee. We actually ran out of coffee this morning. It was a sad day. So I had a double espresso, which is completely awesome. I'm a big fan of my double espresso. Stefanik, man, cheers, dude. Like, those Prime subscriptions, they come in clutch because they're free. You don't have to pay any money for them. I love them. I hate how hard they make it for you to use your Prime subscriptions, but, oh, I got my potency down. Nice. I don't need to use GMY anymore. But cheers, brother. I wonder who was that? That must have been one of the Qui-Gons or whatever. Mila Jovovich. She was in, I think she was in all of them. Ooh, I want Fortified. I think she was in all of them. I did not see all of the movies. I have seen most of them. And they were really good. I enjoyed the first one. I think that the first Resident Evil movie is really like just a solid movie. I actually am terrible at actor and actress names, and I am impressing myself with how many names I'm remembering this morning. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel that my last name, which I won't tell you, but my last name, it's a name that if you look at it with conventional English, it actually, like, I look at it and say, oh, this is really easy to pronounce. Um, you just have to know, like, English. And I think the first time somebody in my life said my last name correctly, I was like in my 20s. And it blew my mind. So, so I get the idea of when people say your name right, you get like, oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, that sucks. This is shit. Oh, if I had a nickel for every time. Yeah, I'm Italian, and our names I think are easier than Arabic names. And it's still something that gets constantly wrong. So like I get, oh man, I don't want to kill him with you, but it's the best case scenario right now. I don't normally hate dropping stars, but I hate dropping it on like mall notes because I just hate fighting Maul, and this just means I'm gonna have to go back and fight him again, which I am not happy about. I am hoping that maybe I can get a kill with the ult, but they're all at full health, so that is probably not going to happen. Let's save the ult for now. Oh my god, they have so much fucking protection. I'm just throwing this on auto, and we're gonna let the chips fly where they fly. Because I do not want to deal with this. Actually, with you guys left, maybe I'll just throw it on auto basic. I heard some really early rumblings about a Spaceballs 2. I think we're in an age where everything's a sequel, right? Like every movie has a sequel. I saw something last night about another movie, The Devil Wears Prada 2. I'm like, well, I don't know why The Devil Wears Prada needs to have a sequel, but that's the age we live in right now, and it can be annoying. Some of them are alright. Some of them are alright, but for the most part, they are not good. Um, like they've been, thankfully, like the cast of Galaxy Quest has pretty much hard no a Galaxy Quest sequel since Alan Rickman is dead, because you don't have Galaxy Quest without Alan Rickman. But that's the age we live in. They everything is even. Karate Kid, like you have Cobra Kai, which I love. I love Cobra Kai, but now they're doing a movie too, and I'm like, why just continue the show or whatever you're doing? Galaxy Quest is another one of my favorite movies. I quote it all the time. That line where he goes, "Miners, not miners." Big fan of that movie. My wife hates it, which is sad. My mother-in-law enjoys it. She says it's a good movie, so I'm at least happy with that. Yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times. You know a movie's good if I watch it more than once, because I very rarely watch a movie more than once. It's super, like, against, like, my ethics to watch movies multiple times. So when I do, it's got to be something special, and that is something special. We're in Sector 2. We got Luthen Shards. I actually don't think I'm going to be buying Luthen Shards this time around, to be completely honest. So I'm going to pass on that for now. I'm thinking I just might wait until the 4-month mark. All right, we're going to go up this way. Yeah, let's do this way. We're gonna wait till the 4 month mark and do it that way. I'm pretty sure. You know what? Ralph Macchio doesn't need to act. Doesn't matter. The show is still good. It's. I have not seen the latest season. I have not finished the season that came out last year. But Cobra Kai, it's peak 80s cheese, right? It's exactly what you need it to be. It is this cheesy, stupid, over the top, really dumb thing, and that is exactly what that show needs to be. And it is perfect for being what it's supposed to be. Again, haven't seen. I know that the final season's coming out, but I haven't seen the most recent season that is currently out yet. I was watching it during COVID when we were exactly, Sparrow. Like that's the best way to put it. It knows exactly what it is, and it stays right where it's supposed to be. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not. Like it's exactly there for its reason. I was watching it during COVID on like the treadmill in the middle of the winter when I didn't want to run outside, and I would just like burn through as much of Cobra Kai as possible while running, and it was awesome. Like it's classic cheese. If you liked the original Karate Kid movies, like it is a show that is worth watching. All right, let's see. Now, I took that other leader's resolve off, so I don't know if these guys are going to be able to do this and pull this off a second time. Let's find out. Because I would love to get a few more Imperial Trooper kills. Okay, that's good. Once I get you out of the way, I should be fine. Throw that bitch on auto. Anyone see, what did we see last week? I wish, Mary J, like, I wish there was a sequel to that movie, but, like, that was done when it was supposed to be done, not now. Because it's just, it's so good. And with Alan Rickman, and, like, 3 or 4 years later, it would have been perfect to do. What do we need to get done? Need more Rebel Fighter, and the Imp Troopers I'm not getting right now. Alright, let's do more Rebel Fighter. Throw you in there. No, you can't recast him. Sometimes you can recast, like Harry Potter, they had to recast, and that makes sense. I understand why they had to do that. But for a movie that's like that was always prepared as like a one-off movie that was just such a beautiful role, you can't recast that. Deadpool and Wolverine looks really good. We saw the Red Band trailer over the weekend. We went to go see, I don't even know what we went to go see. I don't even remember. That's going to bother me. What did we see over the weekend? I am going to perseverate on this. What the hell did we see? I mean, it must have been adult enough because it had a Red Band trailer in it. I don't even know. But we went to go see something, and we saw the Deadpool and Wolverine Red Band trailer, and it was very funny. We perse- I said perseverate. Yeah. Like right now in my head, I am just like trying to focus on what we saw this weekend because I literally cannot remember. But the Wolverine and Deadpool trailer looks just so funny. I saw the regular trailer last week, and then this week we saw the Red Band one of that regular trailer, and it made it so much better. I'm excited. I'm probably going to like Uber to the movie, and we'll get a little bit drunk and see it. Um, I cannot wait for that one. All right, come on. You guys can do this. I know you can. Maybe not at 80%. A lot of people are really nervous because Deadpool is coming out under Disney, but it seems like Disney has loosened up on what they allow to do as long as there is different as long as they have their different studios doing it. A Red Band trailer is basically a trailer that can't play during all movies. The MPAA specifically says, like, hey, this is approved for these specific movies. So it's basically like an R-rated trailer. So, like, you might see a Deadpool and Wolverine trailer at Despicable Me, right? Like, you won't, but you might because it's approved to play before every movie. But you won't see a Red Band trailer before Despicable Me because it's a kids movie and it's not approved to play before it. So Red Band trailers usually have a lot of cursing. There might be nudity, like specifically just in the trailer itself, but it's basically an R-rated trailer. I got one more refresh, I think. Okay, good. Let's just check out what I've done here so far. I need more Master Qui-Gon battles. Captain Rex is not a problem. Gungan's not a problem. I'll do those later. Cal Kestis is not a problem. I'll just run that auto later. Okay. Probably run our JMK here. We basically see everything that most things that come out. If a movie seems like it's going to be good, we're going to go see it. If a movie seems like it's going to be mediocre, we're probably going to go see it. If a movie seems like it's going to be bad, I mean, it depends, but we might still go see it. Yeah, and I've been hearing something, like I'm on Facebook for business, for work, and the problem with Facebook now is that there's a lot of pages that pop up that have just like really good AI and they're poorly done trailers, but there's been a lot of like releases of things that cameos that might happen that seem like they would be really, really fun if they do happen. So I'm kind of excited to see what is real and what is not. All right. Just heard from my other TB officer. He says that we are good to deploy. So after this battle, I'm just going to make sure that I deploy. Real quick. Well, we need a Hulk, right? Because what's his name? Shit, this is the first time getting some. Crap. What's his name? Mark Ruffalo. Damn, I didn't get. I don't think Mark Ruffalo is going to want to do another one unless they throw a ton of money his way, and that's completely possible. They might. There we go. Yes, the Ruffalo. But I got it before you said it, and it counts. All right, let's get back to Conquest, see what we got going on. I think that's my last refresh of the day. Let's check it out. Phoenix. I hate Star Killer teams, but that's not terrible. So if I go Phoenix down this way, let's try that out. Let's throw another Gungan team in. I really want to avoid using Gungans. I had a thought about Deadpool, actually, that I'm really hoping pans out, but just give me a second to decide what I want to use here. You know what? I'm just going to do the Leia team. Try to get this out of the way. Get as much of it out of the way as possible anyway. So I had a thought when I saw the Red Band trailer of Deadpool and Wolverine, and it was owned by Fox, so I guess they can do it. What I think would be really, really funny is if they brought back the Fox Deadpool from Ryan Reynolds' first Deadpool movie that sucked, where he had no mouth and he was stupid. I think it would be hilarious if there is like a 2-minute cameo of the stupid Deadpool. I would laugh my ass off if they like did a multiverse, try to team up with him thing, and he was just all kinds of dumb. I had that thought that Sunday when we went to go see the movie, and I thought it was funny, and I hope they do it. There we go. You want me to just scroll through Jar Jar? I'm trying to avoid using my Gungans till Sector 3. Because in Sector 3, I'm going to start needing them for things. Not really getting good nodes for Night Sisters, which kind of suck. I would like to be further along in that feat. But whatever, there's not too much I can do about that. I need 4 more battles. I need 20. Night Sisters are not great against these stupid Mandalorians because of all of the healing. Might as well just do my Gungans, I guess. It's really the only choice to progress. Stupid Gungans. So there we go. I'll show you my Jar Jar. Whether or not he got shot in the head at the end of Deadpool 2 is completely and utterly irrelevant when you're dealing with the multiverse and time travel. That's just something to keep in mind there. So I'm holding out hope. If they don't do it, I'm not going to be upset, but I am holding out hope that they'll do it. Just as a fourth wall breaking, like this was stupid kind of thing. You know, how many times have the Avengers gone back in time and done stupid shit, and Deadpool is going between dimensions here, so I don't think it's out of the ordinary. I mean, Brad Pitt cameoed in the second one in a literally blink if you miss it, ridiculous quarter of a second cameo. So I think with these movies, quite literally anything could happen, right? Quite literally anything could happen. And we're making good time too. So Warlock, I think we'll have time to look at your roster, which is nice too. What I'm going to do is actually go back to Sector 1 because I want to get some of those in a different way. I'm a big fan of the animations are very fun. I do think the one thing that I'm kind of like iffy on, let's try Mandalorians, is that those giant blue balls, almost every animation has them, and they do kind of get old after a while. I think it's the perfect time for that. For that stupid dead. I think it would just be so funny if they did it. All right, let's. Beautiful, look at that. Kill two birds with one stone here. Get my Mandalorian kills. I do need some resistance wins. Normally I just try to power through the sectors, but because of what I'm trying to do there in Sector 2, this is a good time to go back to get some of these feats done. I need more resistance. I actually only need one more Mandalorian kill, which is super annoying. Let's see if there's anything that needs to be shored up. What needs to be done here? Oh, I hate getting kills with Scout Trooper. It is one of my least favorite stupid things that needs to get done. All right, let's shore up this battle then and get that last kill that I need. It still bothers me that I do not remember the movie that we saw on Saturday. I remember the girl next to me was really annoying and on her phone the entire time. It was not very long. It was about an hour and 40 minutes. Was it a horror movie? I don't think it was a horror movie. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll find out later. I'll find out while we're doing something else. And let's get those resistance battles in. Actually, is there anything? Well, it doesn't matter. I don't need scav here because I have plenty of other stuff. And so we have Hero Po that, let's do, do OG Finn. It was not Despicable Me. What I'm going to do is after Conquest, I'm going to look at my AMC app. I can't do that on screen because obviously it has my personal information on there, but I will look. I think I have, what, 2 or 3 more battles left, and we will check because it will literally bother me all day, but I do want to see if I can figure it out beforehand. It was something we were kind of lukewarm on seeing. It was kind of weird. I don't fucking know. That's how many movies we see. They just kind of blend together. This is the last Battle of Conquest. For the day. We'll return throughout the week, by the way. I'll wait to do my day 2 of everything and my day 3 and my Conquest tomorrow. So we'll do this all week because I got nothing else to do. My wife's working. It keeps me out of her hair. It keeps her from getting annoyed with me. So it is... Beautiful. What is this? Just TB stuff. Just TB stuff. Okay. So once again, I'm going to go refill my water, and we're going to actually turn the game off. We don't need the game on anymore. We'll put it over here to the roster reviews. Con, we're going to try to get yours done out of the way before I have to go. So we're going to unplug my phone. Give me 2 minutes to go refill my water. I'm going to check my AMC app. I'll tell you what movie we did actually see, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I'm back. I did check my AMC app. We actually went to, I can't believe I forgot this. We went to go see Maxine. I don't know if you've seen the first 2 movies. X was probably one of my favorite movies of, I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago. I really, really, really loved the movie. It was really good. Pearl was not as good the second movie, but it was still pretty alright. And the third one, Maxine, just came out. It was a little bit different than the other ones. I did enjoy it. It was nice, but it wasn't great. If you like the first 2, it's worth seeing. If you didn't see the first 2, I wouldn't bother with it on its own. It's kind of weird. It doesn't really make sense without the context of the other ones. So let's see. We're going to try to get this one in before we call it a day. Con Warlock, I have your stuff up here on the screen. Fleet Shard, mostly executors, few profundities, we're coordinating. High amount of 7-star executors makes it difficult to get good ranking regularly. Rebel Roundup CT2, Forest Moon CT3. The movie was Maxine. It was the third movie in the X trilogy. Places of Power CT1 or 2. So they're mostly shored up, except for Secrets and Shadows, which is a little bit easier nowadays. Currently working on Jar Jar. I know that from my account, the decision is about as smart as he is, but it's my big PP, and I feel like I'm making progress. I'm assuming PP means personal project and not that you have to go to the bathroom. After that, probably Jedi Knight Luke, working on Rolo Shards, and Jabba, more distant future. Also going to put a few more important relics in here and there, like Bam, Cad, Savage, Dark Trooper. I would also like to work on Bad Batch, especially for Marauder, but I simply don't have the Kairos for that. Duel of Fate seems like it's pretty good ROI, especially considering you only have to build 2 characters for it. Your thoughts? We kind of talked about the thoughts on Duel of the Fates before, and I'm pretty sure that you were here for that. So unless you need me to cover it again, which I happily will do, I don't know if we need to cover that necessarily again. Raid-wise, my guild has only got the first grade, so we might not do the new one right now. Thanks for the advice. All right. I mean, obviously, I get it. Jar Jar, personal project. Here's the deal. I'm in the same boat when it came to Jar Jar. Yeah, same thing. Personal project, passion project. It's not something that I'm ever going to take away from somebody to say don't do a personal project, because fun is fun, right? Where are we? Warring Wookiees, Con Warlock, we're in Chromium 4, rank 22. Man, just gonna say somebody watches the Beaver. There you go. High amount of 7-star executors. So as a 5-star executor, since I was playing executor back in the Mirrors days, they have changed executor matches a little bit. So I can't give you the best advice on that executor match. But back in the day, we used to use Ebonhawk as a way, even though you were 5 stars, to beat 7-star executors. I am sure that there are still guides on how to do it in the new way versus the old way. And I would definitely look into that if you haven't already, because I know it is still possible for a 5-star to beat a 7-star. It's really, executor matches are really an alt race more so than an endurance match. I'm sure there is a way for me to see this in new.gg, but I can't see it as natively as I used to see kind of what you've been getting as a day-to-day, but right now you're at 22. I'd really love to see you getting into the 20s or to the 10s to get more consistent crystals. I would, yeah, Ebonhawk is still the way to go. Perfect, yes. But so for that 5 versus 7, I just look at some battle videos on that to see exactly how to do it for a 5 versus 7-star. But I know it is entirely possible. I know that fleet climbs suck, but if everybody is coordinating, you should have to do less battles than most people to do it. And if you think about where you are right now as a rank 22 versus like a rank 18, right? That's doubling your rewards from 100 to 200. From 50 to 100. So that is a huge thing. You're in the top 20. Okay, so you are hitting top 20. Again, though, if you're able to get 1 or 2 more battles in, you know, going from 100 crystals a day to 200 crystals a day in the top 10, it's game. Like I did not, I hate saying I take this game seriously, but I did not take this game like seriously until I started getting fleet crystals and I started to explode my growth. And because my growth was exploding, I was like, wow, this game is so much more fun than I originally thought it was. So I would, you know, you can ask, you're on our Discord, I would ask, I'm sure somebody's done videos on it within our little community there to be able to help you out a little bit more. But you, with what you have, can do more than you are currently doing. Now the thing is, I don't know how much advice I can give you, just because other than your passion project, you've kind of hit the nail on the head of some of the things that are like best practices for people, right? In ascertaining what you want to do moving forward. And they're probably the same exact things that I'm going to tell you to do, but we'll take a look. You said your guild is probably going back to speeder bike. With Jar Jar, honestly, you're going to be doing 1/10 of your. That might be holding you back with your executor is, it sounds like since Bam is not relict and Cat is not relict, and I'm just going from your message, I'm not actually looking here yet. That might be where you're struggling with your executor mirror matches. It's kind of like you want the entire fleet at least at R5, right? And that might be what is throwing you off right now. The hell is that guy's name? You already have Bosk, you have Boba, not Dengar, we have Ig, yeah. So those ones that are not hard requirements, I definitely would put in my time and energy as short-term projects to get those guys relic. It should help you with getting into that top 10 or even that top 5 a little bit easier, all of that extra damage. We have Jar Jar coming back in about a month. Are you going to be there for Phalanx? How many refreshes are you doing? Because if you think about Jar Jar being a passion project here, he's coming back in less than a month now. And then he probably won't be back again for another 3 to 4 months. So are you hyper prioritizing something here that you are not going to see, realistically in the short term? It'll depend on the shard that you're in, Alam, but that is good to know. For me, it was always R5 back in the day. It was just looking at where Phalanx shards are on the map, but you are 5 stars away right now. Yeah, so if you're not doing any refreshes on those Gungans, you're not going to get him the next time that he comes around, unless you're planning on buying shards, which if you were planning on buying shards, then it just makes more sense to do a refresh or 2 anyway, which means that you're not getting him for another 3 to 4 months at this point. That doesn't mean deprioritize him, because if you are happy to get him more towards the middle of the raid cycle, that's completely fine. That's your prerogative, that's your choice, that's where you are. But some of your shorter term projects are going to be a little bit more important, and that means things like Bam and Cad Bane are going to be a lot more important for you. Bad Batch and Marauder, if your fleet chart is not really seeing Leviathans yet, it's not a hyper priority to go for that. It is very expensive. It's the most expensive way in order to it's the most expensive GL, Lord Vader. That's why people don't generally get Lord Vader, is because of Bad Batch. So you're putting yourself in a position to farm for something that's going to be really tough for you when there are a lot of other things to go. So now Lady Geek is bringing up a good point. I don't know your exact shard amounts, but Phalanx is 5 stars, which means you're a maximum of 185 shards away from Phalanx. That's 555 battles, give or take. So that's that's 55 days with 10 battles, 2 refreshes. That's actually 37 days away. But now, again, because I don't know how many shards you have of Phalanx already, it could be considerably less than that. Just kind of keep that in the back of your head when you're prioritizing those guys, knowing that it's unlikely that you are going to be getting him in the near term. OGLs yet, but you have a decent ROI base, which is really, really, really nice. Let's see what these guys are looking like. Okay. Now, I know that Captain Rex with Phoenix can do Places of Secrets and Shadows at CT1, but I don't know how low they can do it. I know that him at G12 and the rest of them at Lightspeed Bundle, so R3, it is perfectly doable. You're a little bit below that. So I don't know if it's necessarily worth investing the gear. Just keep in mind that like Sabine, Kanan Jarrus, Hera, and Ezra, they are old farms. So if you wanted to core gear them to like G12 and try Secrets and Shadows, it might not be the worst idea in the world. You're not spending resources that are too terribly taxing for a player to get. As for a Gungan assault battle, I don't think so. Generally, that gets added pretty early on as a reason to go after something quickly. We just got Duel of the Fates, which does have a fairly decent ROI behind it, so I don't see it as happening. Well, remember, most of your Phoenix are, I don't know what gear that is, gear 8 to 10, somewhere in there. And I don't know how low they're able to do it. I do know at R3, which is the Lightspeed Bundle level, they can do it. I don't recommend relicking them, though. You might want to look around at resources to see if anyone's done it like really, really considerably low with the Lightspeed Bundles, because that might make your choice for you. If you find videos of them doing it at G12, it might be worth it, but I would not go past G12. Otherwise, the important part of your assault battles is kind of where it needs to be. I just want to take a quick look at your Jedi. Revan Kenobi. Okay, G1, yeah. All right. Goodnight Luke, Relics, Bam, Cad, Savage, Dark Trooper. Let's take a look. I'm gonna tell you right now, my Savage isn't even relic yet. He is very good. He is a one-man wrecking crew in the early to mid game, so I don't necessarily think you are wrong for doing that. It's just not something that I have prioritized for my own account. Imperial Troopers. I'm looking here at your Imperial Troopers. You're saying that you want to isolate Dark Trooper as a priority relic. I guess my question is why. I know he's a really great character. I do have mine as relics as well, but you don't really have an Imperial Troopers team to use him with, right? Most of your Imperial Troopers are relatively low, so it comes down to either you invest in that team or you don't, and right now it does not look like you've invested in that team, which doesn't make it 100% a waste to do, but I do think it deprioritizes him for you, and I don't think it's going to be game-changing for you when your only relic is an Admiral Piet, and the rest are relatively low levels. Just coming in here real quick. These stupid Twitch bots doing all of their fun little Twitch bot things. Yeah, I would really deprioritize Bad Batch with your Kyrotech sync. I think the smart option for you is to short term Look, Gungans aside, you're looking at that as like a 3 to 4 month project with where you are in the game right now. Gungans aside, I would prioritize those relics for your Executor team so that you're more likely to be able to get into that top 10. So that Cad and that Bane are a little bit more important in terms of time-wise. I would 100% stay the course on Jedi Master Luke as well as on Jabba as your mid to late term goals. JML does change the game for you when we talk about Conquest, and it looks like you're just right there on the brink of that 4 million. It's going to give you the majority of what you need for a CLS squad, which is great in Conquest. It's going to give you your JML squad, which is great in Conquest. He's very helpful in Proving Grounds. It's going to bring you to the CT3 on Ground War. Do you have that CT3 in Military Might? Yes, you do. So you already have a pretty decent CLS team based on what I've seen, since you don't have that Phoenix squad fully rounded out. And then Jabba is your mod ROI, right? So those are going to be more important than anything else. You fit in Gungans wherever you want in terms of your passion project with rabid beavers or whatever. But again, keep in mind that your Executor relics are more important. At that point, honestly, I would hedge my bets on your shards starting to advance a little bit more. That's a good time to go for Profundity to get yourself a second GL ship, which will also help you kind of push more and easier into that top 10 or that top 5 or that top 1. Profundity against Profundity is a super easy auto battle by throwing in the TIE Bomber as your first reinforcement. If you want to leverage your bet against people in your shard getting Leviathan, then as you start to get to that point, start slow farming the Mark 6. Putting Mark 6 in your opening lineup of Profundity is going to make not a 100% reliable counter for the Leviathan Profundity, but it is going to make a much more reliable counter for that battle, which will give you a little bit of an easier time. But like I said, it's really hard to give you too much advice when you've already kind of isolated exactly what you think you should be doing, and those things are really good projects. Except, of course, like I said, I don't think Dark Trooper is a priority for you when we're looking at your roster and we're looking at your Imperial Troopers in the state that they currently are in. Savage is a nice like one-man wrecking crew, so that is like a nice Omicron to have. It'll be very helpful for you in GAC. If you haven't upgraded it yet already, I'm going to assume that you have this. Yeah, so you already have the Wampa Omicron, which is a really nice one. And you have the Treya Omicron. Have you... Okay, good. So you have about G12. If that's working for you, then that's great. Once you get through Jedi Master Luke, once you get through Jabba, once you get through Profundity, honestly, that should take you probably about 8 months if we're completely honest, but that's going to put you in a really good position to do a lot more. And if you want to work on your Bad Batch at that point, you can. I just don't think it's going to be a necessary project for you. The Marauder is really nice, but you're in a slower progressing fleet chart, and you'll be able to contend with them as you move along, especially because everybody seems to be coordinating. Once again, just on Duel of the Fates in terms of good ROI, what I did not check here is, did you happen to buy shards? No, you didn't. These guys. Here's the tough thing when we talk about these guys. You know, I don't think they are a priority farm at your level of the game. Yeah, at 3 stars. I don't think they're a priority farm for you. I would make sure they're high enough to at least do the first tier, because those are free shards that you're getting every single month doing that first tier over and over again. But I think that you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot if you over prioritize Master Qui-Gon or Padawan Obi-Wan a little bit higher. It's just not important for you right now. So I personally would not put that on my radar, especially as newer age Chirotech farms, which are never fun to do, especially when you have a lot of older farms that you still need to do. Did I answer all of your questions? Whew. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. All right, so then we're going to call that a day because I do have classes that I need to go teach. Like I said, tomorrow morning we'll do the same thing, roughly the same time or so, and I do have other roster reviews that we'll start to get ourselves down for over however much time the next couple of days. We'll do a full week of TB and Conquest and getting everything done, and we can do it all together. But with that said,